What's up, YouTube? Natsu Team FTNatsu back for another deck profile today. So today's deck profile is gonna be on my Thing Saver deck. I was playing that deck a lot, like almost, okay, not the entire stream, but most of the stream. If you guys don't know, I streamed. I think it was on Wednesday. Yeah, it was Wednesday. It was Wednesday I streamed. So I'm just gonna go over the deck. This is like the deck that I kind of like settled on for right now. I might change it up a little later too, but I'll get into the changes I was thinking about when I get to the grade. Anyway, so we're starting Vanguard. We run Wingull Brave. Wingull Brave's this is the best starter. It's not jump break restricted, so things like so you can avoid things like Saishin, things like Gatling Claw, a lot of things like that. If you go first, so actually going first this deck actually isn't even that bad. But because like you can just, the minute you hit grade 2, you can just start wrecking your opponent. I actually was playing against one of my friends, and I was grade locked at grade 2, but like it didn't matter. I just won anyway. Wingull Brave, if you don't know what he does, he's when another Royal Paladin rides him, you call him to Vanguard Circle, and then and an attack when he boosts, if you hit and he boosted, if the unit he boosted has a blaster name in it, you can put him in Soul and get any blaster from your deck and add it to your hand. Usually, you want to get Blaster Blade. If you hit at when you're at grade 3 or higher, you want to get Blaster Blade. If you hit when you're at grade 2, you want to get Blaster Blade Seeker. I'll get into why and stuff in a little bit. Then for our triggers, we run 12 crit, 4 heal. It's very, very important that you run the Seeker heal and Hollow Breath and Moderon if you want to build this version of the deck, because we do run a special counterblast. You don't use it every game, but I mean it has come up before where I'm just like, whoop, special counterblast too for Alfred Exive. And then we're on Floggle. Floggle's we don't crit Floggle. Crit Floggles comes out in the new set that's gonna come out in English at the end of this month. Wow, in like 2 weeks already. Damn. Crit Floggle, her ability is when a Blaster Blade, just Blaster Blade, not Blaster Blade Seeker, not Blaster Blade Spirit, just Blaster Blade, should be so good. Otherwise, when it hits, or after it attacks the Vanguard, you can counterblast her, counterblast 1, put her back in deck, and then the Blaster Blade stands. And this isn't once per turn. So if you have 3 Floggles, your Blaster Blade can attack 4 times. It has to be after it attacks the Vanguard, though. That is a thing. But like even then, and you may be thinking, but Blaster Blade's 9th unit. Why the hell would I want to use that? We'll get into that in a little bit. Because that's not gonna really matter. If you time this card correctly. But yeah. So that's it for our grades. Our grade 1s, running 4 Perfect RGs, because Perfect RGs, like, they let you unflip, unflip shenanigans. 4 Stride Enablers, enough said. 4 of the new Barkle. So the new Barkle, what he does is, he's like Dorant. He's essentially the Dorant of the deck. Just Blaster Blade, not Blaster Blade Seeker, just Blaster Blade. I just have to make that very, very clear because, he'd be too good. When just Blaster Blade is placed in the same column as him, if you have a Blaster Vanguard, no, you have to have a Blaster Vanguard. One of my friends tried was gonna like use Sanctuary Guard and like use this engine, use an engine like that, Sanctuary Guard, and then I was like, no, you can't. You have to have a Blaster Vanguard. Sanctuary Guard, it's not gonna really work as super well. And she was like, damn. You can unflip 1. So pretty much, like I said, it's Dorant. It's just as good as Dorant. It's key to the deck. You have to run 4 of him. And then I'm running 3 Shinrik. Some people like K. I prefer Shinrik. Shinrik is a 10k attacker for Seekers. Mainly, I just prefer Shinrik because, so the advantages to Shinrik and K can work with any blaster. So essentially, if you're in Legion, or, whatchamacallit, well, if you're in grade 2 and you're on Blaster Blade, K can still work. Shinrik, as long as, just as a second at grade 3, Shinrik is a 10k attacker. So that's why I prefer Shinrik. Also, I do run Alfred Exive in this deck. So I can call out Alfred Exive. I can use Alfred Exive's skill to call out Shinrik, and he does count. So like, if I can magically end up having like 4 Seekers on field or some crazy shenanigan like that, You can abuse Alfred X of like gaining power. That's very rare though. Mainly, I run him, like I said, just because anytime I grade 3, and also I can call out with Alfred X if need be. Like I said, it's not that uncommon that I'll end up calling out things with Alfred X. I mean, if I've already seen 2 thing savers in damage or like something like that, then I mean, hey, might as well. And it gives me a grade 1 target if I need a booster. So for grade 2s, running 4 of the new Lou. This card's insane. This is like the best. Oh my gosh, Lou is so good. Lou has made Thing Saver viable again. I mean, not to say Thing Saver was bad. It's just why the hell would you play Thing Saver when you could play Duel Knights or whatchamacallit. But now Thing Saver, like the soul issue's not even an issue. Like Lou's so good. So Lou's skill is on rear guard circle. If he's boosted by Flogul or Barkle, new Flogul and new Barkle. I just want to get that out there. New Flogul, new Barkle. He gains 3k power, so with Flogul, he becomes a 16k attacker, with Barkle becomes a 90k attacker. At grade 2, that's pretty important, and like, it turns Flogul once again into a viable booster, for magic numbers. He gains 3k power, and then he also got the skill. The skill being, you can counterblast 1, put him in soul, and you can grab any blaster from your deck and call it to your guard circle, and the blaster you call gets 3k power for the turn. So you can just toolbox out your Blaster Blades, you can toolbox out your Blaster Blade Seekers if you want to. It combos really well with Barkle because essentially if you have him boosted by Barkle, he's free. Like, and yeah, he goes to Soul, but this is the Thing Saver deck that only further benefits you. It's too good not to max out on, and he's a rare, which makes me so happy because I have 4 Thing Sabers IRL, and one is a Legionnaire, one's an SP. So like, I can build this deck IRL so fast. He's too good. They're running 4 Blaster Blade. You have to run 4 because Barkle and New Flogul only work with Blaster Blade, so you need to max out on him. He just lets you, unflip. That's pretty much what he's there for, and also just for like, also for Flogul shenanigans, because Thing Saver gets you extra drive checks. So what you can do is you can have Lou boosted by Flogul. Use this whatever attack, get Blaster Blade, call Blaster Blade, whatever, but in front of Flogul, and then you attack with Thing Saver. You get like whatever triggers you get, you just put them on Blaster Blade, and then you use Thing Saver skill. Whatever triggers you get from that, you put them on Blaster Blade again, and then Blaster Blade can attack twice, boosted up by triggers. Not to mention he's already 12k alone with Lou's ability, so that can help push for a ton of that can definitely help push your opponent's high damage and request a bunch of guard. And then running 3 Blaster Blade Seeker. Blaster Blade Seeker is Legion Mate for Exiv. He's Legion Mate for Thing Saver, and he's a Lou target if you run out of Blaster Blades. And I mean, like, you can still use the ability. The ability is still pretty. It comes in handy for getting rid of annoying things like Tom, like Silent Tom. Silent Tom's too good. So yeah, it's too useful. But I only run 3 because I only have space for 3. I could take out a Cynric for another one. Cynric for a 4th one, but I tried running that. I'd rather have I felt like it just wasn't as optimal for me, in my opinion. I just preferred Cynric, and generally the card I want to be grabbing with Lou is Blaster Blade instead of Blaster Blade Seeker. Then for grade 3s, running 3 Alfred Exiv, 3 Thing Sabers. Alfred Exiv, if he's in Legion, he Legions with Blaster Blade or Blaster Blade Seeker, by the way. Just want to throw that out there. So during your turn, if he's in Legion, it gets 1,000 power for every other Seeker in your, like, every other Seeker that you have. Note, this is each of your other units with Seeker in its card name, so generally you want to Legion with Blaster Blade Seeker, because then if you don't have any of the Seekers in your rear guard circles, he's still is swinging for 21k on his own, which is very nice. And then if you have 5 rear guards or more, he gets an extra critical. I mean, that ability can come in handy. If your opponent's at 3 damage, they have to guard the Vanguard, they can't just no-guard it. And then his second skill is Counterblast 2 Seekers, search your deck for up to 1 Seeker from in its card name, call it to your guard circle, shuffle your deck. Like I said, that's the reason why I'm running the Seeker triggers, that's the reason why I'm running Cynric. The ability comes in handy. And they're running 4 Thing Saver Dragons. Thing Saver Dragon, his skill is Counterblast 2, Soul Blast 3, discard 2. And in the battle that he attacked a Vanguard, if he's in Legion, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 Thing Saver Dragon, write it at sand, shuffle your deck, choose a Blaster Blade Seeker from Soul, and Legion. This unit is just too good. It lets you get multiple drive checks. It's You can use the ability twice in a turn if you Loo enough. And I mean, if you have Barkle, Loo is essentially free, so why not? It's useful. And then when he attacks Vanguard, he gains 2k power, which is great because for the second attack, he'll be unboosted, so he'll still be 22, which still pushes magic numbers. These are the 2 units I prefer to run. Some people can run. You can run Wingull. Wingull's pretty. Wingull Seeker's pretty good too. But I just prefer Alfred Exive for several reasons. 1, he lets me get free units. 2, he has the critical, which is nice. And then I'll get into the third one in a little bit. Now, something important to note: Barkle does require a Blaster Vanguard. So for his skill, you have to be in Legion. If you're a grade 3, you have to be in Legion. But that's, I mean, you're generally going to want a Legion ASAP with your deck, if you have the Barkles, just because that way you can have access to Barkle skill. The other reason I want Alfred Exive, because I run Holy Squire Dragon. Yeah, I have a lot of strats. This would be the one thing I would change about the deck. I'm not full, like, I still haven't, like, decided, honestly. Like, each strat is just so good. So, I run 2 Holy Squire, 2 Soul Saver, 2 Ultimile, 1 Galblade, and then 1 Semwa. Yeah. So, Holy Squire, his ability is, choose a copy of himself in the G-Zone, and flip it. If you have a heart with Alfred in its name, which you have Alfred Exive, unlock all of your locked cards, and until the end of the turn, all your rear get 2k power, and then if you have, and then Genbreak 3, so this is your second stride, because the unit, the strided unit that you have on your Vanguard circle does count towards your Genbreak abilities. Some people don't know that, unbelievably. He gets 3k power for each regard. So pretty much he's just there. He powers up Blaster Blade. So Flogel becomes even better. So you can like call Blaster Blade, and you don't have to call him, and Blaster Blade you can still shenanigan with Flogel. Not to mention, like, Chaos is a thing, so like this just gets around Chaos. This deck, Think Saver decks usually don't care too much about Link Joker, just because it's the same logic as why Overlord doesn't care. Like, your Vanguard is just so high pressure that it doesn't really matter. I mean, this deck cares more than Overlord does, because part of the goodness with this deck is that you're powering up your boss blade that you're gonna have Flogel do things with. But even then, like, it can be problematic, but it's not as big a deal. So that's why I'm only running 2. And then Religious Soul Saver, Counterblast 1, Persona Flip. If you have a heart with Blaster in the same, so basically, if you're in Legion, you hit the cost. If you do, choose up 3 of your units, and they gain 5k power, aka you choose Blaster Blade, Flogel, Shenanigans. Especially with Lou, then the shenanigans get really real. And they get 5k power till the end of the turn. And then if you have 2 or more Blaster units in your soul, but it gets extra critical, but that usually won't happen, just because at most you'll have 1 because your heart is separate from your soul. So like sometimes you'll have to ride Blaster Blade, which is actually not even that bad, to be honest, because you have Wingull Brave pressure right from the start, from the get-go. Like I said, he pretty much just powers up Blaster Blade with Flogel. The Flogel is just so good. I cannot emphasize how good Flogel is. Oh my gosh. There are only 2 Ultimile. Ultima's skill is Persona Flip. All of your units get 3k power in the front row, so Blaster Blade gets more power. We're seeing a bit of a running theme here with this deck. And then you can call a grade 2, aka you can call Lou, or if you want to call Blaster Blade if you're out of Lou's. And the unit you call gets 5k power. The unit you call has to be grade 2 though, but I mean, like, what else would you call? Once again, it allows Flogel shenanigans. It also lets you get a card as well. So if you don't have like a full setup field and you're out of Seeker, Counter Blast, or whatever, you can do that. Then you're running 1 Galblade. Galblade is just a good first stride. On hit, get a grade 2 from your deck. You get Lou. Enough said. I mean, it's pretty standard for most Royal Paladin decks. I think only like Jewel Knights and Sanctuary Guard don't even run Galblade. But like everything, if you're not running one of those 2 decks, you're running Galblade. And then with Samuel's just the situation that Samuel can get you out of is just, it's too useful. It's kind of like a cheese card almost. Sometimes I've lost this card too before. I'm like, well, I'll just take the Vanguard attack. Nope, you can't take the Vanguard attack now. Samuel, when it attacks Vanguard, if you have 5 or more Vanguards, and your opponent has 4 or less damage, you counterblast 2, and then they just take it. They take a damage automatically. It just lets you cheese out of situations pretty much. If your opponent's at 4 damage and they don't have a lot of cards in their hand, sometimes you can want to just go for Samuel, so that way they have to guard your Vanguard now. It's useful not to run. Any of these strategies are honestly viable for this deck. You can kind of like pick and choose which is your favorite. Obviously, if you're not running Alfred Exive, then you probably want to max more on Ultimile or Soul Saver. But I mean, like, they each have their benefits, depending on the situation and stuff. This deck's actually really, really strong, surprisingly. Like Lou and Flogel and Bark. Oh, like those 3 cards alone make the deck so good. If only they had like a Blaster Seeker, that would be too good. That was great through that collision with like Blaster Blade or whatever. Or even if it couldn't lead you with Gem Break, that'd be fine. Honestly, I kind of wish that in the booster that we got Holy Square, when we actually got like a Blaster, like an Alfred Blaster Gem Break 2 unit, because that would have been too good. That would have been too useful in my opinion. But yeah, this is a deck I've been using a lot. You'll probably see it. I'm gonna try and play other things too for you guys in videos. But if I live stream again, this is probably the deck I'll be using a lot, because I love this deck so much. But yeah, anyway, this has been Natsu / Team FTNatsu Fairy Tale signing out.